Well, my name is Sean Williams. I am the Vice President of State and Local Government Affairs for Airlines for America. We are the trade association of the major U.S. passenger and cargo airlines. Sorry, there's a little bit of feedback on your end, but I think you said that you went to the United website and found that there's no mention of the Hawaii quarantine. Is that right?
Yeah, no mention of anything related to COVID.
I can't speak to United's specific what their website looks like. I mean, I take your word for it. I'm happy to inquire with them as to what they're doing. But as I said, every carrier is doing a minimum of communicating with their passengers before they leave in one way or another.
Why can't there be something more consistent? Why can't there be a consistent message? And I know HTA has spoken to all the airlines and told us that they had agreed they were going to do something in addition, spoke to the portals, that they were going to put them on their website, they were going to make announcements. And you know, when you say they're all different, when I see there's nothing, I can show it to you right, you know, here on the computer. It's very troubling.
I don't want to speak for United or any airline about what their specific individual practice is. I think that airlines have made the decision about what is the most effective way to communicate with passengers who are actually traveling about this. And so I will pass your direct concern along to them. But I don't know that, and I will ask them for a response. But I'm sure that they've made whatever decision they made about communicating with passengers based on what is most effective.
Okay.
And that different form, that may come in the form of a gate announcement, that may come in the form of an email, that may come in the form of some other way than simply putting something on their website. I really don't know, but I will pass it along to them.
The concern is, if you put it on the website, you give people advance notice. If you wait till they get to the gate and they find out and they decide now they don't want to come, it's too late. I mean, you know, you don't want to wait, and now they have to go through getting a refund and so forth. So I guess the other question I want to ask you is, how can you help us to get the airlines to work with us, because we are partners in this, and the sooner we're able to work out these details, the sooner we'll be able to get passengers to come back to Hawaii so we can, you know, get the economy moving again. But if we're not going to have this kind of cooperation, it's going to take us a lot longer to do this. So how can you help us?
Well, I will answer your question about how I can help you. I will take whatever concerns are brought to me here in this hearing directly to the airlines. I think this is a good opportunity and a good forum for me to be the repository of those concerns and give them to my member airlines. I think that the carriers are all very cognizant of what is going on in Hawaii. They're cognizant of what's going on similarly in other states, and trying to deal with all of those concerns nationally. So I understand your concern. I understand what you're saying. You have my word that I will take that concern directly back to the airlines that you have issues with.
Is there any way you can also follow up with us too and let us know what they're going to do? I mean, it's one thing to take the concerns to them, but you know, we need a little bit more concrete action, and you get back to us and let us know on a timely basis of what we can expect. Because a lot
in one way or the other, whether it's me or whether it's the airline directly, we will get back in touch with you.
So these things that I'm sharing with you are things that have been shared with me by the public here in Hawaii, our constituents. They're very concerned that the airlines are not doing enough, and they want it done at the front end and not when they get here to Honolulu.
Well, again, I mean, I point out that the airlines are communicating with passengers prior to the passengers taking off. We can't make the passengers who are seeking to violate the quarantine, we can't make them listen. We can't police that. That's much more of an enforcement issue than it is an airline issue. Again, we don't ask passengers why they fly, and we don't want to punish those who need to fly for particular reasons that are other than for any reason. And so I think that's much more of an enforcement issue than anything else.
And I've not asked that. I've asked that they warn passengers so they're aware at the front end that there are these restrictions. So that seems simple enough to put some kind of notice on their website.
Again, I'll take that particular concern back to them. Again, I think the airlines are making their decisions on what is the most effective way to communicate with a passenger before they take off. It's not if there is no communication whatsoever, but your specific concern about a notice on the website, I will take back. I'd be happy to do that.
Can you go back? Can you go back to another slide? The list. One more. Yeah, that.
Sure. I don't know. Am I sharing my screen still?
Yeah.
You can see it? Okay. The service level?
Oh no, this one.
This
Airline communications to passengers.
Yeah.
So can you give us a detailed accounting of what each airline does? The summary of everyone doing it in some form or fashion actually doesn't give us the information that we need. We want to see what every airline does, either in a grid or some way so that we can kind of compare them.
I don't currently have that, but I can work on that for you, sure.
Yeah, if you can get that to us.
Can you consider asking the airlines to basically agree for all of them to do the same protocol so that, and I will tell you, I've heard from people who returning from LA on United Airlines, sitting at their gate waiting for their flight. They never once had any message about the quarantine in Hawaii. However, the gate over that was going to San Francisco from LA, they aired announcements several times about the California law and their quarantine and to wear a mask and social distancing. But for the Hawaii gate, there was no such announcement. So this is why I think it's important that if we can get all the airlines to communicate the same information ahead of time, it would be better for all of the passengers coming to Hawaii and not realizing when they get off the plane that they're already in violation of our quarantine laws because they're not wearing face masks, etc.
I'm absolutely happy to raise that.
Thank you.
That's Councilman Watu.
Thank you.